How do F1 teams make money? Do only the big teams get the profit, or do the small teams as well? These questions will hopefully be answered in the video that we're watching today. The video that we're watching today is how Formula 1 teams make money. A video by CNBC. Let's get right into it, as we have a lot to learn. Gunther Steiner, where are you?
There's no other sport in the world that can give you the feeling of being in the arena where the gladiators are, when really the action is going on.
You're trying to imagine scenarios, how the start could turn out, and the what ifs.
Going racing, it's intense. You can see if you have done things right. If you want to change anything, it's too late on the grid.
True.
We're in the prototype business. If you're standing still, you're going backwards because everyone's going forward.
In the team, we are half glass empty people rather than half full. Maybe our lives are a little bit more miserable than others, but it keeps us on our toes.
Wow.
Formula One is the most elite racing league on the planet, and it's doubled in value since US-based Liberty Media bought F1 for some $8 billion in 2017.
Wait, they bought it for $8 billion? I mean, I knew it was a lot of money, but that's crazy.
What's it worth now?
The enterprise value is about floating around, say, $16 billion.
And together,
Damn.
10 teams on the grid are reportedly valued at more than $15 billion.
Today, I don't think you could buy a team for less than $750 million, and the top teams are valued at $3 billion.
So you want to say that Ferrari, McLaren nowadays, Red Bull and Mercedes, I would say the big four, that they are around $3 billion each? Whoa. Okay. Then Williams kicks Sauber is around 750 million. That's still a lot. Still a lot of money. I can afford that.
The total change.
It's a rapid rise for one of the world's fastest sports.
Appreciate it.
It's Toto Wolff, everyone. So let's get started. My name is Anita Albersi, but this is really not about me. This is about this man, the most successful team principal of our era.
We had 10 teams, and those 10 teams have been there through thick and thin. We were shaken by COVID, and we made it.
Formula One teams are run by CEOs and team principals.
Welcome to the Miami Grand Prix.
In some cases, they're both. Toto Wolff of the Mercedes F1 team has his hands full with 3 roles.
You're unique because
Three?
you are CEO, principal, and part owner of Mercedes. Which one
damn.
takes the most
Oh, yeah,
time?
okay.
While the engineers will always say that I'm spending too much on the CEO side, and I need to remind myself that in our business it's a stopwatch. If we win, financial success is going to follow. My priority must always be to create a framework where our performance people are able to thrive.
23 race weekends a year, I'm the team principal of a high-performing sports team, and for the other 52 weeks of the year, from Monday to Friday, I'm the CEO of a high-tech technology.
The other 52 weeks. Let's hear that again.
23 race weekends a year, I'm the team principal of a high-performing sports team, and for the other 52 weeks of the year, from
Oh, so it means he counts the weeks from Monday to Friday, and the race weekends Friday to Sunday. Okay, I get it.
to Friday, I'm the CEO of a high-tech technology business. So it keeps me busy.
You need to know what you're doing technically because you've got a big design team. The technology in F1 is at the forefront. You always develop something, and you need to run a business. You need to have that money coming in. So you need to sell sponsorship and or report back to board, to the investor in the team, and tell them what you're doing with money.
What does the CEO of McLaren Racing Team do?
That's what a lot of people on the racing team actually ask. My job is to get the best people, to give them the resources they need, the direction they need. On the commercial side, bringing on new corporate partners, and most importantly, servicing and making sure our corporate partners are benefiting from their affiliation with McLaren. And then, of course, I've got a board and shareholders pretty much 7 days a week.
So, as far as I can see, CEO is just bringing the money, and the team principal bringing the good points so that you can make money. Weirdly enough, it's all about money. Of course it is. Everything is.
CNBC is a corporate sponsor of McLaren Racing, one of the top 5 teams in Formula One. To get to the top of the league,
We've now won 27 of the last 31 races.
you have to start early.
When did you start
beautiful.
getting into racing and F1? You're the longest serving team principal, right?
Yes, I have that title now, apparently. So I started at the age of 11 racing go-karts, and then I did some testing as a test driver in Formula One. But then I retired from driving in 1998, and then Red Bull approached me when they acquired what was the Jaguar Formula One team to come and be the first team principal of Red Bull Racing.
Oh, wow.
Racing wasn't part of any of my upbringing. When I was 18, I got invited to a junior Formula race, Formula 3 in Europe, and this is really where I found my identity.
You started as a mechanic, right?
Correct. I started as a mechanic in '86 in rallying, in world rallying.
And how does going from mechanic to now being a team principal inform you? Do you think it gives you an edge?
I've seen like old videos of like Mattia Binotto being an engineer at Ferrari, but is it that Günther Stein, of course, is it that he was working at Red Bull as well? Do I remember that correctly? Let me know in the comments down below. Maybe they say it in a few seconds, who knows?
I don't know if it gives me an edge, but for sure it gives me an advantage. I mean, it's very difficult to pull the wool over my eyes.
F1 cars are made from scratch. It's part of the reason that operating costs for the teams are sky high. For the Mercedes team,
I mean,
that figure was
how would the
more than
otherwise do it?
$400 million in 2022, which includes everything
hell,
from
that's a lot.
marketing to mechanics to driver salaries.
Yeah, okay, but if you have Lewis Hamilton, you already lose 50 million only to him. So then you get 400 million very quickly.
That's massive. That's massive carbon. It's an aerodynamic miracle, that car. We're trying to have the airflow flowing underneath the front wing and above it, and that airflow then spreads around the car and obviously provides downforce.
Can you put a price on the cars?
They cost about $50 million to develop, and they're a couple $1 million.
Wait,
to
50 or
actually
15?
build.
These cars here, probably $2.5
I don't know.
million each car
To make.
to make.
They last for one season?
They last for one season,
Oh, damn.
and then they go in a museum.
R&D is the biggest single investment. If you took the car that starts the year and it was on pole and you didn't touch it, by the end of the year it would be last. We have new stuff on our car this weekend, we'll have new stuff on our car next weekend, so it's a prototype race. You're never sitting still.
He's saying like every week updating it, but most of the teams do it like in big packages, right? I've never realized that they change it every weekend. Of course, the setup and stuff like that, that's changed every weekend, but not like designs of the front wing and stuff.
And to pay for all that, teams have to bring in the bucks, mostly from sponsor contracts and F1 itself.
What about the prize money? How does that work now that you're at the top?
Well, the prize money is essentially split into 3 columns. So you get 1 column for participation, you get 1 column for where you finish in the Constructors' Championship. Then there is a 3rd column that has a historical content to it. So, for example, Ferrari benefit the most from that column because they're the longest standing team.
Our business today generates about $600 million in revenue, and we are growing with 10 to 15% annually. We have predictable income streams because sponsorship contracts normally between 5 to 10 years.
You've got MoneyGram as the title sponsor. How did that come together?
I think MoneyGram coming to us was very smart. I mean, it's an American company which want to get more business global in the big teams. You know, it's all about the big team. And with us, I think they get more about them. We are still the youngest team.
But not for long, as Cadillac and Andretti might join for the 11th team in 26. Is it confirmed? As far as I know, it's not been confirmed, but the chances are very big.
Good idea.
We were known as a traditional 80-year-old brand that is a retail cash business. One thing we looked at from a marketing perspective was how do we amplify the characteristics and the brand attributes that we were becoming more and more, which is around innovation and technology, safety, speed, etc. And then what really pops out about F1 initially is that they race at the time in 20 different countries. And we looked at those countries in that particular year, it overlapped with 70% of our send revenue. So while we're a U.S. company,
that's
it's our
actually
largest
very
market,
smart,
we
yeah.
do more business outside the U.S. than we do inside.
Are the Formula One fans MoneyGram customers?
Yeah, we typically interact with consumers that are 25 to 35 years old. They're oftentimes migrant communities that have left their home countries and they're gone to find employment, sending money back home. And so the connection with a racetrack, the connection with the driver, the connection with the sport itself really binds them and connects them in many ways.
It's a global sport. MoneyGram is, connecting people financially all over the world, and I think all these synergies are there.
1/3 of what we do is, PR, sponsor stuff, marketing, media. It's
people financially all over the world, and I think all these synergies are there.
1/3 of what we do is
One-third.
PR, sponsor stuff, marketing, media. It's a large part of it.
It's what keeps us racing. It's a small, privately owned team, and all these partners that we have on board, they're the ones that, make this possible.
How do you determine the placement of the sponsor?
So we measure precisely how much exposure a sponsor gets by being on the car.
Yeah, that's what I've always wondered. Like some teams, of course, you have the big sponsors on the side of the car, but on the front wing, you have a few sponsors like on top of each other. Like here, you see like Akudis is at the bottom, then you have Pirelli, CrowdStrike. How do they even choose that one? But I think we'll hear that now.
Sponsor gets by being on the car. So depending on the size of the sponsorship deal, you're getting more spaces. But to be honest, the sticker on the car is just the icing on the cake. It's more the relationship that you have. How can we help them to increase their sales or help them with their marketing targets? What we're doing is tailor-made for the specific partner.
Does
Oh,
the
damn.
success of F1 and the team have any bearing on Mercedes sales for the consumer?
I think it's a long-term branding exercise where people say, okay, what is it that I think about a Mercedes? We are being given the responsibility of carrying the stuff.
Well, at the moment, kind of shit. So I think they need to get back to good form for good sales in the Mercedes-Benz.
We are building race cars and we're building road cars. The first ever Mercedes was a racing car.
Red
How
Bull,
does Red
still
Bull,
crazy.
energy drink maker, need a Formula One team?
The shareholders, they've always been passionate about racing and Formula One, and they saw it as the perfect platform to market their brand. And it's the most viewed sport in the world outside of the Olympic Games and the Football World Cup. But of course, they only happen every 4 years. Formula One is every 2 weeks.
Is it a profitable investment for them?
It depends how you view it in terms of the recognition for the brand globally. What that would cost to advertise absolutely is a huge success in the amount that
True.
it's promoting.
Everybody
the
knows Red
brand.
Bull.
And I think as the sponsorship and partnerships and the income improves and cost caps take effect, we're seeing the intrinsic value of Formula One teams just increase dramatically.
The cost cap that Liberty Media introduced limits how much each team can spend on building and developing cars, set at $135 million in 2023.
Oh
Is the
no,
budget
only
now a budget
135
thing?
million.
Absolutely, anybody investing in it knows how much you're going to spend. Before, somebody investing in a race team didn't know if he would spend 200 million a year or $500 million a year. There was everything in between.
We're now profitable. We were losing 7, 8, 9 figures when I
Damn.
started, and now we're a profitable sports team.
I mean, yeah, because you'd go above and beyond for a better car, but then you'd lose money. So then you don't profit from it and then you go bankrupt. But that's actually, I've never looked at it that way with the cost cap. I always thought like, oh yeah, it's just make it equal. But that's also a good thing about the cost cap. Damn.
The blueprint was the American leagues where when the salary caps were introduced, the businesses became sustainable. That was introduced 2 years ago.
Wow.
With also the aim not only to make the business sustainable, but also to create a more level playing field. Small teams basically having the same budget like the big ones.
But the only issue I have with that is that the big teams already are at the front, and for the others to catch up, if they spend the exact same on the exact same departments, they don't win anything. They just stay as much behind as they already were. So,
There will be many more teams capable of winning races, but also it made our business very profitable.
So how do you spend it most wisely?
Well,
catering, I've heard.
That's the name of the game. Before, if we wanted to develop a new front wing, you could develop 10 and pick the best one. And you didn't mind that you kind of wasted money on 9 front wings. Now, you don't want to develop 10 to land on one, because that 9 wings that you've wasted money on, that's money that you should be spending somewhere else.
Becoming profitable, I hope we achieve it this year or next year. You know, that would be one of the
Not
goals.
profitable now.
Not in the moment. In the moment, I
Oh,
think
wow.
we are close to a break even. But we will become profitable, because a business, to assure that you continue, you need to be profitable, because it cannot be just an investment project.
And with profitability comes a surge in team values. Recently,
Ryan
a group of
Reynolds.
celebrity investors took a 24% stake in Alpine Racing, putting that team's value north of $900 million.
Damn.
More newer, younger audience now, which I think people are really excited about the sport and where it's going. I used to come out to the States particularly, and I would explain what it is I do, and I never could understand why people didn't love the sport like I've grown up to love it. And now I'm seeing people having that experience that I've had.
As this season winds down, it's all eyes on next spring.
How should we look to 2024, the next season? Do you have a good sense that you're going to be back in the hunt for the title again?
We have completely changed the concept of our car. It seems like all our
Hunt for the title.
lines of getting it wrong so many times now makes sense. So I think the car is going to be in a good place. Is it good enough to beat a Red Bull? Is it good enough to beat Max Verstappen? I don't know. But
It's funny how he already says to beat Max Verstappen, not Sergio Perez. But hey, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned some stuff just like I did. And if you did, then don't forget to subscribe and like, of course. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.